Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round one of the WPIAL Class 3A Girls Basketball Playoffs. We are coming to you live from Barth and Graham Court on the campus of North Catholic. It is a playoff edition of Trojanettes Game Day. Your North Catholic Trojanettes meet the Brownsville area Falcons in this playoff matchup. The Trojanettes enter this evening's game as the number one overall seed in 3A with a 15-2 record overall, 9-0 in the section, while the number 17 seeded Falcons come in at 3-9 overall, 2-8 in their section. Hello everyone, I'm Sean Malone coming to you from Cranberry Township as North Catholic and Brownsville get set for this exciting first round matchup. I'm pleased to be joined tonight in the booth by Phil O'Hara. Phil, your daughter Belle has been on the team the 4 years prior to this, and every single one of those years ended in a WPIAL championship, so you're really familiar with these deep playoff runs. Do you think we can get the same thing this year?
This team, Sean, certainly looks to have everything necessary to make that deep run, and they have certainly tested themselves in the section against a very tough Mohawk team. They had a chance to play Laurel one game, and also passed that test with flying colors. Didn't get a chance to play that second game against Laurel. But I think maybe more importantly, Sean, is this team has also tested itself very well with some really top-notch talent from 6A, a couple games there. And so, yeah, I think that they do look like a team to beat. And generally, that's the consensus among most of the other folks looking at this bracket, that the Trojanettes are the presumptive favorite here in 3A.
So even losing those nine excellent seniors from last year's team, gaining two seniors from Vincentian, Tara Luco and Melina Cortez has really helped this team. And then there's two excellent freshmen as well, Ava Walker and Daisha Lewandowski. Ava Walker and Elena Rocco. Daisha Lewandowski, really the only player returning who got significant varsity time last year. So a pretty young team, but still very successful and having a number one seed.
Absolutely. Tori Drevna played last year, but she didn't see a lot of the varsity time. And so a lot of these girls are brand new to varsity basketball. But I will tell you, I think this does speak a little bit to what Coach Molly Rotman, can do with the team. She can bring them together quickly. And I think one of the reasons for that is that the Trojanettes do stress defense. It's a big thing that they stress. It brings a team together, and it can really make a difference, especially against some teams that have high-scoring offenses. So I think it's made all the difference in the world for this young team.
Yeah, before the game tonight, I was listening to our first NC Athletics podcast created by our own NC Athletic North Catholic students, Ryan Barry and Alex Brown. If you get a chance, go to the North Catholic Athletics website and find it. It's a pretty good listen. And they interviewed Coach Rotman, and she talked about coaching with almost a brand new team in 2020 in the year of COVID-19, and it's been really hard. And they might not have put in as many X's and O's as normal, but there was a few things that they focused on that they wanted to do really well. I know you've watched this team a bunch of games this year. What do you think that they've been pushing in practice? What do you think they're really focusing on? I'm guessing one of them is going to be defense because you already mentioned it.
I certainly think the defense is one of them. This team is a team that has stressed defense every year, and they really focus on good, solid team defense. But I'll tell you what, too, the thing I have noticed in watching this team is they're very unselfish. The scoring will come. Certainly the scoring comes from the freshmen a lot, but any one of these girls on the floor could score, and you'll see that. You'll see a lot of them put some points up. So I think probably a little bit of that has been also something that they've stressed, is continue to be selfish, make extra passes, and I think that's paid off for them.
Yeah, just a few games that I've noticed, Ava Walker has really impressed me with her passing ability. She plays down low but makes great passes down low, and she can dribble the ball and move in transition as well. And that's, I think, really rare for a freshman. That was something else that Coach Rotman emphasized in the podcast, is that Elena Rocco and Ava Walker don't play like freshmen. They don't show any nerves out there. And maybe we can be on the lookout for that tonight. Nerves that might not have appeared during the season, now that we're in the playoffs, might start to crop up a little bit, especially as we move further and further into the postseason.
I think that's a great point, Sean, because I think some of the earlier games, this team did have some pretty big leads against say, like a Mount Lebanon. And then they watched some of those leads slip away. Norwin was another one. They had a good game against Norwin. They were leading most of the way, but they saw that slip away at the end.
That was the buzzer beater game,
That was
it
the
not?
buzzer beater game, that's right. And again, I think you're right that I'm not sure I saw nerves, but I think it was certainly some youthful aspects of learning how to play with that lead and making some of those right decisions down the game. But I agree with you that the nerves don't seem to have been an issue for these freshmen at all.
I hadn't looked at their section schedule that much, but looking at the bracket, did you say that Mohawk and Laurel are both in their section?
That's right, yeah.
And those are, so North section, they were 9-0 in the section.
That's right.
And their section has the 1 seed North Catholic, the 2 seed Mohawk, and the 4 seed Laurel.
That's right. And
so they were undefeated in the best section in 3A.
Yep.
That augurs very well as we move forward into the playoffs.
It really does. It really does. And those wins against those teams were convincing wins. I mean, it was definitely you kind of got a sense of who the better team was, at least in those games for sure.
Yeah, and I guess if we Laurel would be on the same side of the bracket as North Catholic, so they could meet as early as the semifinals. A third game against Mohawk would have to wait until the finals. And we are under a minute before Anthem and lineups. So we're going to go courtside right now for that national anthem and the starting lineups. Tip-off is next, right here on the NC Sports Network. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. North Catholic High School welcomes you to Barth and Graham Court for tonight's first round playoff matchup between the Brownsville Lady Falcons and your North Catholic Trojanettes. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now, the introduction of tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visitors, the Brownsville Lady Falcons. Starting at guard, junior number 10, Emma Cito. Starting at guard, senior number 11, Katie Whitlock. Starting at guard, senior number 14, Melanie Schumar. Starting at forward, senior number 22, Rhianna Lewis. And starting at center, senior number 42, Aubrey Hogsett. The Lady Falcons are coached by Patty Columbia. And now, let's meet tonight's starting lineup for your North Catholic Trojanettes. Starting at guard, senior number 5, Tara Luco. Starting at guard, freshman number 11, Elena Rocco. Starting at guard, sophomore number 12, Daisha Lewandowski. Starting at forward, freshman number 24, Ava Walker. And starting at guard, sophomore, number 30, Tori Drevna. The Trojanettes are coached by Molly Rotman.
Hey, Sean, before we get this game started, just a quick little note about how Brownsville got here. They won one of those play-in games against Steel Valley. Score was 55-43. It was a big second half surge that allowed Brownsville to have their first playoff win since 2008. And the player to watch out for here on Brownsville is going to be Emma Cito. She scored 22 points in that game. Aubrey Hogsett had 18 for the Falcons. So I think Cito is going to be the player to watch here in this game. Her coach just really praises her hustle and says that this person has got a heart and soul of this team. So,
all right, so that's going to be Emma Cito, is who we're going to watch out for on their team. Number 10, Brownsville, of course, coming out in black uniforms, yellow number, and a yellow Brownsville on the front of the jerseys. North Catholic playing in their home whites. Trojanettes in red on the front, outlined in yellow. And the tip is won right away by North Catholic. Elena Rocco runs down the court and lays it in. And under 10 seconds into the game, the Trojanettes are up 2-0. And it looks like they're going to press right away. And Tori Drevna almost comes up with a steal. So the action fast and furious from the opening tip, Phil.
Right off the bat, and that's a thing that Trojanettes like to do. They like to win that tip. They like to get a basket right off the tip, and that's something they absolutely coach. Coach Rotman did say that they are going to look to pressure here early, so not surprised to see that.
And Brownsville breaks the pressure this time, but then once they get it up court, there's a traveling violation. What do you think is going into that decision to pressure early?
You know, that's a good question, Sean. I'm going to guess it's like have that in the back pocket, something that they can use later on in the playoffs perhaps and get some work with it here.
All right, Brownsville has come out in a 2-3 zone. Nice pass down low. Daisha Lewandowski to Ava Walker. And
great look there.
And there, you said it before the game, an unselfish team and a good passing team can just tear apart a zone with well-paced passes like that.
Absolutely, Sean. You know, the working the ball in the pass and working those gaps on the defense, you know, breaking that down on the dribble in the gaps is how you beat that zone defense.
Brownsville trying to inbound. They get it in to Lewis. Lewis to Cito. Cito down low to, that was Aubrey Hogsett, and she was fouled by Ava Walker. So that time, Brownsville breaks the press and gets it down to a wide open Hogsett, who's going to head to the line for 2 free throws. Her first is short and thuds to the court. Still 4-0 Trojanettes. Hogsett's second is also short, but she gets her own rebound.
Gotta box the shooter out, Sean.
And then throws that in. The shooter, if you don't box them out right away, I guess they have an advantage because they know if they miss it.
Absolutely.
And Hogsett went in and grabbed that. Elena Rocco misses a 3, and Hogsett grabs the rebound and hands it off to Cito. But Cito's going to get the ball stolen away by Elena Rocco. She drives in with her right hand and throws it up. It hits off the rim twice. Lewandowski gets the rebound. Walker gets the rebound, gives it to Drevna, and she hits a free throw line jumper, and it's 6-2 North Catholic. And we've got 3 different Trojanet players on the board already.
Yeah, really nice shot there by Drevna, taking her time on the jumper. And again, a steal on the press and a score.
And that's going to lead to a timeout from Brownsville. I think that was Lewandowski on the last basket.
Indeed,
so
it was.
4 different players scoring already for North Catholic. And during this break, we would like to remind you that NC Athletics has launched its very own podcast. Weekly episodes will dive deep into the world of North Catholic athletics to keep you up to date. Current NC freshmen Alex Brown and Ryan Berry are the hosts of this brand new podcast. In the first episode out Tuesday, the boys, well, I guess it's already out. The first episode out yesterday. The boys preview the WPIAL playoff brackets for your Trojanettes and Trojans, and they sit down with Coach Rotman and Coach DiGregorio to get their take on the respective seasons. You can find the NC Athletics podcast on northcatholicathletics.com and Spotify. Brownsville gives it away again, right to Elena Rocco, and she's going to lay it in. And that is a 10-2 lead for North Catholic. And there, that was Cammie Franks trying to inbound it, but Tori Drevna knocking it away And the Trojanettes have really jumped on the Lady Falcons here, Phil.
Yeah, they don't show this press too often, so I don't think Brownsville probably prepared for that, and it's showing a little bit here early.
Yeah, Brownsville is 1 for 1 in field goals, I believe. And now they'll be 1 for 2 as Cito drives into the lane and misses. It's definitely the turnovers in the press that have plagued Brownsville here in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Absolutely. But a nice take by Cito there. She needs to continue to stay aggressive for this team.
Ball gets into the middle. A nice down low pass to Cito, and Cito is going to be fouled. Drevna and Walker were both in the vicinity, and it is going to be on Tori Drevna, number 30. I think that's her first foul, team second foul. And Emma Cito heads to the line. Her shot is wide left and glances off the left side of the rim and bounces out. So Brownsville 0 for 3 at the line so far. Cito's second is good. Those are her first points of the game.
And sorry to interrupt you there, Sean, but definitely that's something the Trojanettes the Brownsville wants to take advantage of. If you get those free throws, you got to convert those.
And on the other end of the floor, Ava Walker gets a nice pass, steps around her defender, and lays it in. 12-3 North Catholic. Franks gets it in, but Brownsville is immediately in trouble, and they're fortunate to get the ball to. That was Katie Wicklock, but it's poked away from behind, and North Catholic has it again. Drevna wide open for 3. Goes in and out. Walker fighting for the rebound, and she's going to get a jump ball with Hogsett. North Catholic won the tip, so the ball is going to stay with Brownsville, and the Trojanettes are going to make their first substitutions. Drevna and Luco head out in favor of Cortez and Waskowitz.
Hogsett's tough on those boards there. She could be a force inside as this game goes on.
Yeah, you mentioned that she had a good number of points in Brownsville's playoff win. Cito gets it down low, turns over her left shoulder, and it bounces out and misses. Cito gets her own rebound and throws it up and in. Coach Rotman probably not too happy with the defensive rebounding so far.
Yeah.
Lewandowski gets a couple feet in front of the free throw line, but misses a shot.
And another rebound for Hogsett there. Yeah, it is surprising to see Brownsville getting the ball there into the paint.
Yeah, they're not wasting much time like passing it around the three-point arc. They are just trying to get direct line passes inside. That time, Ava Walker intercepted one of those passes and gave it to Elena Rocco, who hits our first 3 of the night. And the Trojanettes jump out to a double-digit lead, 15 points now, as Elena Rocco leads all scorers with 7. And Rocco got a steal, gave it to Anna Waskowitz, who passed it quickly to Daisha Lewandowski.
There's that extra pass again, Sean.
And it's now 17-5, and we are less than 4 minutes into the first quarter. Cito gets the inbounds pass. She's driving down. She takes it hard to the basket, and she scores. When Brownsville has got the ball past half court and into Cito's hands, they've been pretty effective.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They get it into her hands, and she can make something happen. I'll be curious to see if she has an outside shot as well. She's clearly wanted to get to the rim here early and has not been spotting up for any jumpers. We'll see if that's a part of her game later on.
Lewandowski guards the inbounds pass. Franks gets it in to Whitlock. Whitlock back to Franks. Over to Melanie Schumar. Schumar gets ripped out of her hands by Anna Waskowitz. Waskowitz gives it to Ava Walker. Ava Walker is fouled, and more defense leading to offense for the Trojanettes.
Yeah, Sean, I got to tell you, it does look like the Lady Falcons are standing still a lot on that press instead of having a lot more movement. And again, I think it's probably because they just weren't anticipating the Trojanettes coming out in that.
And Walker's first is good. And, I mean, that last steal was from Anna Waskowitz, who I feel like if you had to give her a position, it might be forward, even though she's one of the shorter players on the team. She's really aggressive and just goes after rebounds, goes after loose balls, and as you saw on that play, just tears it away from somebody if you're not strong with the basketball.
Waskowitz is a tough player, a lot of grit. And, you know, the interesting thing, Sean, you were talking about Ava Walker and her size down low. when I watched this team on a lot of the video streams early on when we couldn't get in the gyms to see it was difficult to tell the different size. It looked like everybody from the Trojanettes was all the same size, but they have players who interchangeably will go out beyond the perimeter, will go down low, and it really is interesting. Here you go, Walker for 3 from the perimeter.
Yeah, that was perfect timing. It would have been even better if she had made it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't have a roster in front of me with heights, but just looking right now, it looks like Lexi Robb is on the court right now too, but Walker and Robb and Lewandowski are all about the same height, it looks like to me. The tallest player on the team this year is probably Elena Rocco. Anna Waskowitz catapults one from the outside the three-point line. She misses. Cito now driving in, using her right hand against Lewandowski. And Lewandowski that time is able to foil Cito's drive. Dacia's her sister Kylie is one of the Division I recruits on last year's team, who was just an outstanding defender. And it looks like Dacia's inherited some of those defensive instincts, at least on that play.
One of the things that Kylie was very good at was defending that outside jumper. She was so long, so teams just couldn't get that 3 off. Side little note too, Kylie, now a member of the Richmond Spiders, they played the other day against the University of Massachusetts, and it was the team that Sam Breen, another North Catholic alum, plays for. So Breen and Lewandowski matched up against each other.
Would Duquesne and Richmond ever play?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
so you would have then Tess Myers facing off against Kylie Lewandowski.
Yep, they are in the same conference, and I don't know for sure if they've got a game scheduled or not based on the COVID schedules and everything, but they could play each other in the same conference.
So while we were reminiscing about last year's seniors, Brownsville missed a shot, and Anna Waskowitz grabbed the rebound and knifed through the entire Brownsville team.
Yeah.
Maybe did a little Euro step there at the end and laid it in. That might have been the best individual offensive play so far in this game from Anna Waskowitz, and that pushes North Catholic out to a 21-7 lead.
Yeah, I've seen Waskowitz use that Euro step quite a bit. She's quite good at it.
Does Ava Walker have 6? I'm just trying to get my score right.
I have Ava Walker at 6. I do.
6.
Yep.
Okay, I forgot her second free throw. So North Catholic has 21 points. Elena Rocco leads the way with 7. Ava Walker has 6. Dacia Lewandowski has 4. Tori Drevna and Anna Waskowitz each have 2. So 5 different players scoring already for the Trojanettes. Brownsville, they called a timeout. They were all ready for the press there.
Indeed they were.
They had a lineup, and North Catholic is now waiting the pressure at half court.
Yep.
Or perhaps just sitting back into their regular defense now that they've jumped out to this 14-point lead. Ava Walker goes inside, shoots, scoops up and under. I think that was Cammie Franks, and Ava Walker now has 8 points to lead the Trojanettes.
And a little 6-0 run here by the Trojanettes.
That looks like it's going to be a foul on Dacia Lewandowski, who is guarding
Actually, I think
Emma
that was
Cito.
Walker there, Sean. I think
Okay.
they gave that to Walker. So she's going to take a seat with those 2 fouls here in the first quarter. The bright spots so far for Brownsville, I mean, certainly not the kind of start that you wanted to see, but Cito's got the 5 points, and Aubrey Hogshead, again, 5. I have her for 5 rebounds, so she is getting the job done on the boards.
And Brownsville trying to inbound its Hogsett, looking for somebody. It's poked away by Rocco. Tara Luco, fast break, right-handed layup, good, and 1. Count the basket. Luco is going to try for the old-fashioned three-point play, and she is the 6th Trojanette to score already in the first quarter. The Trojanettes, 25 points so far. That puts them on pace for well over 100 points in this game if this pace keeps up.
That would be something, Sean. Definitely.
And Luco's free throw is good. She's got 3 points on the night. I mean, that's a really long way away. But I feel like a lot of high school coaches probably don't want their teams getting to 100 points. I mean, you want to compete, you want your team to practice, but you never want to embarrass the other team. And purposely trying to get 100, I think is normally considered that.
I can tell you from experience that that's exactly the way Coach Rotman thinks. She'll use this opportunity to get some of those Trojanettes some playoff experience here in this game if this game continues in this on this trend.
And Cito is at the line. Her first misses. She got there because of a foul from junior Lexi Robb.
Four team fouls already for the Trojanettes here, and still 2:05 to play in the first.
Yeah, I guess that would be the one downside so far in this first quarter, as Cito misses the second one too. Tara Luco just has a lot of speed and drives in. Misses, but North Catholic gets the ball right back. Melina Cortez puts it in, and she is now the 7th North Catholic player to score. Brownsville back on the offensive attack. They can't pass it around the long arms of Rocco. Give it to Cammie Franks. Franks looking for a teammate to pass to, stops. Her drive is stymied by Robb. And now it's Whitlock. Whitlock just throws it inside to no one. Elena Rocco head up, throws it ahead to Tori Drevna, and Drevna misses her layup. Cortez with the rebound. Luco, jump shot is good. We've said it a couple times already about how unselfish they are. I think Tori Drevna missed that layup because she wanted to pass it to someone. She really looked to me like she was expecting one of her teammates to run ahead.
Yeah. And another turnover for Brownsville here.
You know, it has been a weird, obviously it's been a weird basketball season this year, and so they gave like every team, I think, a chance to make the playoffs if they wanted to play.
That's right.
And so there might be a lot of games like this that appear like they're not going to be very close in the first round, as Elena Rocco misses a three-pointer. North Catholic swings it around the outside. Luco dives into the lane, misses her shot. Cito gets the rebound. And Tori Drevna rips it away from Brownsville.
Wow.
She falls down while making her layup. Nice play by Drevna.
Trojanettes again coming back to half court to pick up.
Cito with a give and go. The ball's knocked away, but Brownsville gets it back. There's a three-point attempt that misses from Katie Whitlock. Brownsville gets the rebound. And Cito inside, she misses. Brownsville again gets the rebound. Brownsville doing a nice job on the offensive boards. Probably the one bright spot for them in this quarter. And they cannot get a shot off before the end of the first quarter. And our score at the end of the first quarter is 32-7.
Trojanettes closed that quarter on a 15-0 run there.
So it had been 17-7.
Yes.
And then the last 15 points for North Catholic. And some of that even was they had pulled back the press. So they can play defense in multiple ways. Really impressive scoring balance from North Catholic. 7 players scored in that quarter. Ava Walker led the way with 8. Elena Rocco had 7. Tara Luco had 5. Daisha Lewandowski and Tori Drevna each had 4, and then Anna Waskowitz and Mel Cortez each had 2. For Brownsville, only 2 players scored. Emma Cito had 5, and Aubrey Hogsett had 2.
Yeah, the bright spot there for the Brownsville, Hogsett again with those 5 rebounds. And like you said at one point, they were doing a pretty good job of getting some offensive boards, keeping at least one possession there rolling. But this Trojanet team, no doubt they are very tough.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see that press the rest of the game now with a 25-point lead, but you may need that later in the playoffs. And also, I think there's the mindset of you come into this game thinking that, you know, you'll probably beat Brownsville, but as we said, they've got some good individual players in Cito and Hogsett. You want to try to put them away as early as you can, which is, I think, the reason for starting the game with the press. When you let lower seeds stick around, that's when nerves can kick in, and when the other team can get just a little bit of adrenaline. They might just be happy to be here, and then they start thinking, oh, we can win this game. And the Trojanettes have not allowed Brownsville any hope in the game here tonight, as Waskowitz gets a steal, and Franks has fallen down. We hope that she's okay, and a good move by the refs to blow the whistle. That was Franks hustling back to get the ball away from Waskowitz, and it looked like she fell on her leg.
Yeah, it does look like an ankle. I was actually surprised it took as long as it did to stop that play there, because she was clearly not getting up when she went down.
Yeah, and hopefully she'll be able to get up soon. But Trojanettes again with a 32-7 lead. And we'll take this break to remind you again that NC Athletics has launched its very own podcast. Weekly episodes will dive deep into the world of North Athletics to keep you up to date. Current NC freshmen Alex Brown and Ryan Barry are the hosts of this brand new podcast. In the first episode, which came out yesterday, the boys preview the WPIAL playoff brackets for your Trojanettes and Trojans, and they sit down with Coach Rotman and Coach DiGregorio to get their take on their team's respective seasons. You can find the NC Athletics podcast on northcatholicathletics.com and Spotify. At the end of that ad there, you guys might have heard the broadcast, a lot of clapping as Franks is able to get up, helped off the court by a couple of the trainers. Nice to see her be able to walk off the court. Always a good sign in basketball injuries.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there, Sean. Hopefully she's going to be okay, but it's good to see her walk off, even if with it is a little bit of help. And going back to the point you were making about getting up early, that also gives you an opportunity to get other players in the game. And as we can see, senior Hallie Book has made it in. Hallie is actually a softball player and committed to, I believe it's Allegheny. I could be wrong. Do you know, Sean?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that she did commit to Allegheny.
Yeah,
I had the pleasure of having Hallie in my history of baseball class earlier this year. She's a wonderful student to have in class, and I really liked baseball, obviously, if she plays softball as well.
Yep.
Emma Cito for Brownsville gets the first basket of the second quarter for Brownsville. 32-9 now. Ava Walker, great pass from the middle of the zone.
Great job on the high-low, the extra pass.
So when you say high-low, what do you mean there, Phil?
So they got the ball into the high post there, right at that elbow, and a lot of times that 2-3 zone will collapse on that, which will give an opportunity for a player to come down into the low post, and often it's from that short corner position, and they're wide open.
And there, Tori Drevna gets a steal, glides in, and left-handed layup. Looked like it wasn't going to go in, but then fell down. And Drevna has 6 on the night. Brownsville's Cito gives it to Rhianna Lewis. Lewis to Isaiah Dade. Dade into Hogsett.
Nice little set play there by the Lady Falcons.
And there, maybe just a little bit too overeager from Whitlock. She passes it to 4 Trojans in the middle of the zone, or Trojanettes in the middle of the zone. That leads to a fast break and an Ava Walker layup. 38-9 is the lead for the Trojanettes. Just under 6 minutes to play, and a bunch of people running into each other. The ball rolls out of bounds, is picked up by our boys soccer coach Aaron Kelly and tossed back to the ref.
Yeah, and I saw Cito go kind of touch the head there. Of course, obviously you don't want any kind of head injuries. It's good to see that she's up, she's walking around, but there's a nice switch there on that pick by the Trojanettes that made it so that Cito couldn't get any further to that basket. You know, Sean, interesting enough, I don't think that Brownsville has attempted many jump shots. I think it's been everything trying to get to the rim.
Yeah, the only thing I can remember is Katie Whitlock missed a three-pointer somewhere towards the tail end of the first quarter. But you're right, everything else has been really trying to get to the rim, as Anna Waskowitz is fouled as she tries kind of a right-handed hook shot there. She'll head to the line with 5:19 left to play in the second quarter.
That was Cito's on the call there for the foul. It's her first.
Yeah, only 3 fouls so far for Brownsville, and it looks like 4 for the Trojanettes. Yeah, Hallie Book is in the game. She is one of 2 4-year seniors on this team, along with Delaney Law, and they are joined with those transfers from Vincentian, which of course closed, Mel Cortez and Tara Luco. So it's probably really nice for Hallie to get some time, and hopefully we can get Delaney Law into this game as well, because they've been watching this team get so far into the playoffs the last couple of years. Always exciting to get into the playoffs, I'm sure.
Would love to see Delaney Law get in the game too, Sean. Looks like, as I glance over the bench, looks like she is in her sweats, so maybe she has an injury where she's not going to be able to play.
Yeah,
but,
I would agree. That's unfortunate. But, I mean, based on the way this game has gone so far, she might have an opportunity in the second round, too, as Lewandowski misses a 3, but North Catholic still has a 31-point lead. And it's Cito now, guarded by Lewandowski. A pick is set, gives it to Hogsett. Nice give and go. That was a really nice play from Brownsville.
It really was.
Drevna ahead to Waskowitz, almost too far, but Waskowitz taps it back to Walker, and Walker misses the layup. So both teams really ruin what would have been nice assists there, as Drevna's shot misses and is tapped out of bounds by Lewandowski.
So clearly not in a game like this, but those kind of shots that are just right there underneath the hoop, those are the ones that drive coaches crazy.
Yeah, especially after a great hustle play from Waskowitz. Drevna, the pass was a little bit too far. Waskowitz chased it, and as she was falling out of bounds, gave it to Walker. And Cito just fighting against multiple Trojanettes down there.
Yeah, a little Euro step of her own.
The Trojanettes have done a really nice job on the fast break tonight.
Yep.
And not only off of steals, that time off of a defensive rebound.
And it's been in the press and in the half-court defense. Both ways they've got it done. There's an example right there, a steal by Walker, and up ahead to Waskowitz.
And Walker with another nice pass. She had that nice high-low pass earlier out of the zone as well. And there, it looked like Brownsville has just got to sprint back more on defense, but it's probably hard to sprint back when you're now down 46-9 as Drevna gets a steal and goes in for the easy layup. And it looks like another timeout, perhaps.
I will tell you, Sean, so certainly I don't think that there was a lot of question necessarily how this game might end up, but these Trojanettes certainly came out looking to get the job done. I mean, they are firing on all cylinders. There is no let up in them. Not sure what Coach Rotman said to them, but maybe perhaps made this Brownsville team out to be a powerhouse, because they have not let up at all.
Yeah, that's true. Again, going back to the podcast, one of the points she made was that, like, this team is very new, and whenever you're at North Catholic and playing girls basketball, there is that, like, aura of this team has been so good for so long. Coach Rotman this is her 23rd year, and she has 21 section titles. So people automatically assume that you're good, but each team has to kind of live up to that name and make a name for itself. And I think the girls are really trying to do that with this playoff run this year, as Elena Rocco grabs a rebound and glides down the court for an easy layup.
Sean, there was a game earlier in the year, I think it was the first game against Mohawk here at Barth & Graham Court, and the Trojanettes did win that game. And I remember Coach Rotman being interviewed afterwards, Brownsville trying to get that give and go again. And she's saying that was the moment that this team kind of became their own team, and we're not in the shadows of the teams before.
Yeah, they've definitely had some big wins on the season. They have not lost a game, as Aubrey Hogsett did a nice job to get, I think, another offensive rebound.
Absolutely.
Maybe. And she is going for the old-fashioned three-point play and completes it. So Hogsett continues to do well on the boards. So there is still stuff to improve on for North Catholic. I'm thinking of they played a 4A team, Blackhawk, as Lexi Robb probably gets her first career playoff points. Lexi Robb, a junior. Nice passing again through the zone. But they beat Blackhawk, who's moved up from 3A to 4A, and has been just like a big rival for them the last couple years in the playoffs, in both the WPIAL playoffs and in the state playoffs. That was the last game that was played before the shutdown last March ended the state playoffs. And to me, that was a really big win. And it's just great that they have games like that on their schedule where they're going to test themselves against teams that are in higher classifications.
This team has not lost an in-classification game in I don't know how long. It's been a long time. I know the reign of those four seniors, they did not lose an in-classification game the entire time they played. This year, the losses coming to 6A teams, Mount Lebanon and Norwin. And even then, they played Mount Lebanon twice, lost to them the first time, and then beat them the second time.
Okay, they beat Mount Lebanon the second time.
That's right.
So that first game against Mount Lebanon was one of our games here, one of our NC games of the week, and that game was not very close, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, the final score in that game was like 68 to 50 something. Like it was more than a 10-point win for Mount Lebanon. So if they beat Mount Lebanon the second time, that just goes to show like the growth that this team has had throughout the season. As Hogsett makes a free throw there.
68-52 was the final score of that one.
Okay.
And I want to say, if I remember correctly, that game might have been tied at halftime.
It was tied at halftime.
Yeah.
And North Catholic could not score in the second half. And Mount Lebanon really took it to them. As Elena Rocco, her three goes in and out, and Emma Cito gets the rebound.
That's Cito's 5th rebound.
And she drives in, lays it up with the right hand, and she's fouled again. It's going to be, we're in the bonus now for Brownsville. I mean, that's a shooting foul, so Cito would have been going into the line anyway. But a lot of the fouls kind of piling up a little bit here in the first half with 1 minute and 32 seconds left to play in the second quarter. Cito heaves up her free throw. It bounces off the back of the rim, bounces off the right side of the rim, and goes out.
One part of the game from Cito you'd probably like to see some improvement on is her foul shooting. That could really help out a lot if she had made as many shots as she's been given there at that line.
Yeah, Cito has 8 of her team's 14 points. The only other player who scored for Brownsville is Hogsett. Mel Cortez to Hallie Book in the corner. Book looked like she was undecided who to pass it to, but Elena Rocco chases it down. Mel Cortez to Rob. Rob to Elena Rocco, and Elena Rocco with a 3. That's her second 3 of the game, and she's got 12 points.
Sean, we should call out Gigi Palmer in the game for the Trojanettes. I think she's been in there for a little bit here so far. Another strong take from Cito and another rebound from Hogsett.
Yeah, I guess as announcers we like to find things to nitpick, but it is the defensive rebounding for me that's like you really want to work on as the playoffs go forward, because most of the teams you're going to play are going to have someone like Hogsett who's a good inside player, and if you keep giving away extra possessions and let teams dominate you down low, I mean that can become a real problem as they go further on into the playoffs. Palmer to Rocco. Rocco swings it to Cortez, who passes it quickly to Book. Give and go. And Cortez almost gets a third pass there to Rob.
Goodness.
Would have been a nice play from the Trojanettes, but it doesn't work. And
there's a deep shot.
Yeah.
And another one.
under a minute left, and Brownsville's really going for the threes. Hogsett throws one up. It misses. Tapped back in. And the clock is going to run out on the first half. And North Catholic has a 53-14 lead at the end of the second quarter. So we're going to get to halftime now. Before we go to the half, let's just recap the scoring with you and how we got to this 53-14 lead for North Catholic. On the Brownsville side, for the Lady Falcons, Emma Cito leads the way with 8, and the only other player on the score sheet for Brownsville is Aubrey Hogsett with 6. North Catholic has had 8 players score. Melina Cortez and Lexi Robb with 2. Anna Waskowitz, I have her for 4, but I think she might have more.
I have her for 6.
Okay, 6 points for Waskowitz. I've got Tara Luca with 5. Elena Rocco with 12. Daisha Lewandowski with 8. Ava Walker with 10. Tori Drevno with 8.
That's what I have as well.
So really, you said this at the top of the broadcast, really balanced scoring for the Trojanettes, and we're probably going to continue to try to keep up that balance, work on their passing in the second half, and we will be with you for that second half in just about 9.5 minutes. So until the start of the second half, we'll hope you have a nice 10-minute break. We welcome you back to Barth and Graham Court as we get ready for the second half. The Trojanettes come into the second half with a dominating 53-14 lead. Phil, what impressed you the most about North Catholic in that first half?
Well, Sean, we talked about defense at the beginning, and certainly a lot of stuff got generated off the Trojanettes defense. They came out early on in a press, which is not something they've utilized a ton. I think that caught Brownsville off guard. And they generated a lot off that press. But even when they dropped back into that half-court defense, they were batting passes, intercepting passes, leading to transition baskets. So that's the thing that really stood out for me is the baskets off the defense. But again, you called it out earlier. There's a lot of Trojanettes who've scored so far, and I think that's probably going to continue as well.
And let's look briefly at Brownsville too. I mean, they're down by 39 points, so not much went right. But anything impress you about Brownsville in that first half?
You can see what Coach Patty Columbia is talking about with Emma Cito. She is fundamentally sound, can handle the ball, can rebound, plays tough defense, and she's in good physical condition. So, I mean, there she is right there grabbing a rebound. You'd love to see her convert a little bit more, but she has certainly been good. And then Aubrey Hogsett has been great on the boards.
And there, a third Brownsville player gets on the score sheet. It's Rhianna Lewis, and that's a 37-point lead for North Catholic. 40 points, I believe, is the mercy rule in high school basketball. So a couple more points for the Trojanettes will get us there. As Lewandowski has it down low, and she is going to be fouled. Cito and Hogsett were in the area, so we'll see who the foul is on. And I'm totally wrong. It's not on either of those players. It's on Rhianna Lewis, her first team first, obviously.
She's working that stat sheet here in the second half. A bucket and a foul.
And a rebound.
And a rebound.
A rebound or a steal. She got an offensive rebound at least on that last possession. Again, the offensive rebounding for Brownsville, a bright spot for that team. And Lewandowski makes both of her free throws. So she's got 10 points now, 3 Trojanettes in double figures. Rocco leading the way with 12. Lewandowski and Walker each have 10. Cito turns over her left shoulder, fires it over Lexi Robb, and she's now in double figures with 10 points. Robb ball fakes, throws it to Anna Waskowitz, and it was knocked out of bounds by Brownsville.
Sean, Cito was the Trib HSN Player of the Week for girls basketball last week in that win that Brownsville had over Steel Valley, their first playoff win since 2008. So congratulations to her.
And there was a turnover from North Catholic, 55-18, 37-point lead for the Trojanettes.
Only member of the starting Trojanettes out on the floor right now is Lewandowski.
And I don't know who that is in the front row, but Cito almost ran them over chasing that ball. And it's nice to have fans in the stands so we can talk about fans potentially getting run over.
I saw some coverage of some of the games from yesterday where there was actually some fairly good-sized student sections. It looked like it was pretty fun.
Waskowitz drives into the teeth of the zone, kicks out to Daisha Lewandowski, and Lewandowski hits a 3. And now we've got a 40-point lead, and that should start the clock for the mercy rule.
And interestingly enough, only the second Trojanette to hit a 3 today. Rocco's got the other ones, and Lewandowski hits her first 3 of the day.
Well, do you think three-point shooting is still a strength of this team as Lewandowski misses a layup?
I definitely think there are a number of these players can hit the 3. Lewandowski, Drevna, Walker, Rocco. I think even Waskowitz can hit that 3. So yes, I think that is a strength. And when they get hot with it, it can be a difference maker. And
that's definitely a continuity from the teams of the last 4 years, where there's just multiple players who could shoot 3s. Myers, Kylie Lewandowski, Emma Pospischul, Cassie Foster, lots of great shooters on the teams the last 4 years, and as you said, this year as well.
And you know that 3 is just a trend in basketball, boys and girls, right? That's just something they're teaching. Cito now up to 12.
Yeah, everybody wants to be able to shoot threes. I think it makes the game more exciting because if you have a team that can shoot the three, it can open up driving lanes. It makes teams play faster. And you really want to see the great high school athletes just putting their skill on display. And if you have a game that's more open, that moves faster, I think they just have a better chance to do that.
Yeah, great defense there by Hogsett, straight up and down, and then she gets another rebound.
And she runs the court and almost gets a three-point play. Brownsville coming out and still playing hard here in the second half.
I love that, Sean. I tell you what, I really love that. You got to love a team that just out here keeps working hard no matter what.
So Hogsett will shoot 2 free throws here. The clock is stopped at 4:05. Can you remind us of the rules for running clock, Phil?
I believe that is, I've heard different referees call it different ways, but I believe what it is that when the referee hands the ball to the free throw shooter, that's when the clock will stop on free throws.
And then other than free throws and timeouts, the clock will just continue to run for the rest of the game.
That is correct.
As Hogsett misses both. Brownsville, though, gets another offensive rebound. Dade throws it to Cito. Cito swings it to the corner where it's stolen by Gigi Palmer. And Gigi Palmer gives it to Daisha Lewandowski. Lewandowski fires it to Hallie Book. Book tries a bounce pass to Lexi Robb, but it goes away from her, and Brownsville will take possession.
The other thing I always found interesting about that mercy rule, Sean, was the idea that even if the team that's down gets it back under 40, the clock continues to run. So it's once you hit that mark, you don't go back.
Yeah, I don't know if a team's ever come back from
I don't think so.
close to 40. I wonder. I feel like they should be like a rule. Like if it gets under 20, like I feel like you could stop the clock again.
Yeah, yep.
But
we've got a whole slew of Trojanettes now back in the game here.
yeah, several starters now. Tori Drevna and Ava Walker, Mel Cortez, who gets a lot of playing time, and then 35 and 31. I'm gonna have to check the.
Pears Mundy is 35. 31 is Emma Nakotra.
Okay, and are they both freshmen?
Mundy is a junior, I believe. Transfer, I think, from out of state. Nakotra's a freshman.
Okay, so Mundy and Nakotra there, quick hands, pokes the ball out of bounds, and player on the Brownsville bench has caught it and tosses it back in. Brownsville will retain possession, and it looks like the Trojanettes are in a 2-3 zone.
And a block from Mundy.
Yeah, she comes into the game and makes an impact right away. Mel Cortez on the fast break pulls the ball up and slows it down. Trojanettes will run some offense here. Drevna, motion offense it looks like. Mundy in the middle, throws it across to Cortez, to Drevna in the corner. She spots up. That's a three, and that's good. Nice ball movement from the Trojanettes, leads to a three-pointer. And you said there was only one player for North Catholic with a three in the first half. Already we've got two in the second half, Daisha Lewandowski and Tori Drevna. So proving your point that there are a lot of players on this Trojanettes team that can shoot, as it looks like Mundy is going to commit a non-shooting foul against Emma Cito. Ticking down to 1:30 in the third quarter. North Catholic 41-point lead, 61-20. A quick shot by Brownsville's number 32, Olivia McCracken, misses, and Tori Drevna grabs the rebound. She brings it up the court to Walker on the wing, into Mundy. Mundy, one dribble, shoots with her right hand, just misses. Rebound by Nakotra. Nakotra's shot will fall out of bounds.
Nice job by the freshman Nakotra. Getting some action here. Varsity WPIAL playoff action. That's a great thing to get that experience.
Yeah, she's going to be really excited, and it always makes the bench excited.
I love that.
When you've got a freshman scoring in the playoffs. I think that just shows how a team is close, and you like your teammates if you are cheering for everybody in the game with the same intensity that you would earlier in the game. Something I think that the girls' team has picked up from the boys' team that they do sometimes on defense is when you have a defensive possession where you have multiple stops, or someone tries to drive and you turn them back, the team starts clapping.
Oh yeah.
And the boys' team does that all the time, and I really think that the girls' team has picked up on that. And I just love that kind of energy from the bench. That's got to motivate you as a defensive player. And defense is definitely just as much about effort as it is about skill, and having your teammates cheer you on definitely helps there.
It really is, yeah, and especially if you make a couple stops in a row, you could start to get worn down a little bit, and that cheering on from your bench can keep it going. Drevno with another 3.
And that's a great sign. That's a buzzer-beating 3, pretty much. That's a great sign to have her shooting well as we move forward into the playoffs. And she's actually now the leading scorer for North Catholic, 84-20. Not 84, 64-20 is our score after 3 quarters. North Catholic 4 players in double figures. Drevno with 14, Lewandowski with 13, Rocco with 12, and Walker with 10. Brownsville still has 3 players who have scored. Emma Cito with 12, Aubrey Hogsett with 6, and Rhianna Lewis with 2. During this break between quarters, we're very excited to recognize another WPIAL championship this year at North Catholic. Sophomore Maggie Foley won the AA diving championships for the girls this past week. Amazingly, this is her second WPIAL title already as only a sophomore, as she won as a freshman as well. So yet another great year for North Catholic sports. If you watched on the live stream last week, we honored some teams from the fall. The girls cross country team won, as well as the girls soccer team had their second title in a row.
And obviously, you gotta love the fact that they have the championships, but to tell you the truth, you gotta love just the fact that we're playing sports, right? There could have easily been a shutdown. It could have had none of this happen at all. And so you gotta love that these teams are out here competing. And the fact that they're winning these WPIAL championships is just a nice icing on the top.
Yeah, that's a wonderful point. Elena Rocco gets 2 more points for North Catholic. Wide open 3 for Brownsville, and that's their first 3 of the game. Melanie Schumar, nice shot from the outside. 66-23 now. Lexi Robb. Lexi could look to shoot it there.
Take that shot, Lex.
Nobody is guarding her. Luco gives it to Nicotra. Nicotra back out to Rocco.
Now she learns the lesson.
And it's just a little bit long, fighting for the offensive rebound. Cito gets away with it. She's going to go 1-on-3. And a nice hustle from Tara Luco to poke the ball away. Luco I've been really impressed with her speed tonight. And she's actually a member of the cross-country team that won the championship in the fall. She was here for the ceremony last week, so she can probably run like that all game. Another 3 for Brownsville. This time it misses, and Cito falls down pretty hard, and the ball's going to go the other way to North Catholic. She is a little slow to get up, not walking great down the court, now starting to jog, and I'm sure in 10 seconds she's going to be fine.
I think you're probably right. It looks like she's going to get right back in it. And I tell you what, Sean, I like the Lady Falcons taking these outside shots. Why not? Why not?
Rocco to Robb, back to Rocco. Rocco drives in, and it looked like she almost got poked in the eye there. It's going to be a 2-shot foul for Elena Rocco. The Brownsville zone is pretty porous there. In the middle on the last couple possessions.
Yeah. 6:01 here to go. Let me ask you, Sean, so there's a foul on that, and Rocco obviously is going to get these 2 shots, but let's say there was not a foul. Would you have called that a travel? Or was that the classic Euro step right there?
I was thinking Euro step there.
Okay.
I'm just so used to not watching for the travel anymore. And you don't see it called very often. Although I've always thought that referees in girls basketball are a lot stricter with travel calls than they are in boys basketball. I don't know if you've noticed the same thing. I'd be interested to hear your opinion on that after Rocco makes yet another layup, and she's taken the scoring lead back from Drevno. She has 17.
That's a good, I don't know if I've noticed that there's been more travel calls in girls than boys. That's something I'll pay attention to.
At least, especially on like set travels, like you get, and before you take that first dribble, there's a call.
Yeah.
And I don't know if girls just do that more than the boys. And that's another 3-pointer this time for Katie Whitlock, and that's given the Brownsville fans a little bit to cheer about. I don't know if it's just that girls do that more than the boys, or if the boys referees let a little bit of foot shuffling go where the girls referees don't. But I've always thought that as I've watched and announced some of these games. Nice pass from Hallie Book into Tara Luco. Oh, she misses the layup. Gets her on a rebound, though. She kills Book's assist, but she gets a rebound and a basket for herself. Tara Luco with 7 points.
Let's recognize number 40, Stephanie Morris, in for the Lady Falcons, getting some action here in this game.
And Morris almost with a nice pass there, too. That was Rhianna Lewis. Ball is on the court. Lewis grabs it. She throws it up, misses, and she's going to get her own rebound. Nice shot fake. Oh, that would have been one of those plays that gets everybody.
Cito underneath with the board and the bucket.
That three-pointer would have been one that gets everybody excited. When you get a shot fake and the other person just flies back, pass, and you have time to like really settle yourself and shoot that three. Those are always pretty cool. But Cito continuing to play hard and work hard on the boards. She's up to 14 now, and don't make that 15 as she misses, and Tara Luco gets the rebound. Luco ahead to Hallie Book. Hallie Book with a layup. Ow, she just misses. And Cito with the rebound. She's got to be close to a double-double, Phil?
She is. I got her for 8 rebounds, but it might actually be more than that.
Okay, 14 points, and we've got 8 rebounds, but we're certainly not the official scorers as Cito misses. And I don't know if that was her foul, but she just kept going after the ball after she missed.
They are gonna get her for that one. That's her 3rd.
And the clock continues to roll. Under 4 minutes now, 72-28. So the Trojanettes almost had the mercy rule in the first half. They were up by 39 points. How is the scoring in the second half been so far?
NC scored 11 there in the 3rd, and Brownsville very consistent with 7, 7, and 6 finally there in the 3rd.
Anna Waskowitz misses a 3. Rebound by Karis Mundy, and that's going to make the bench stand up and clap. Karis Mundy with her first points of the night.
10 points so far in the 4th for the Trojanettes, so 11 in the 3rd and 10 here in the 4th.
So we've got 21, and how many does Brownsville have in the second half so far?
They had 6 in the 3rd, and they've scored 8 here in the 4th.
So 21-14 in the second half. Brownsville definitely making it more competitive in second half. Hallie Book with a nice steal there. Mel Cortez is going to get fouled. And that's just going to allow probably another 20 or 30 seconds to go away from our running clock here.
That's number 20 for Brownsville coming in. That's Juliana Angeline.
Cortez to Mundy. Mundy looking around, gives it back to Cortez, swings it to Palmer. Palmer into Mundy. Her drive is turned away by Cito. Cortez to Anna Waskowitz. Waskowitz, I think, was thinking about a 3 there, but didn't take it. That would have been a really long 3. Cortez now to Book. Book, give and go to Cortez. Nice assist there. And again,
wow.
Hallie Book has a great pass. The layup doesn't go in. The Trojanettes are going to chase down the rebound, though. Anna Waskowitz pulls it back out. She's going to fire up a 3-pointer. It's a little bit wide left, and Gigi Palmer almost punts the basketball out of bounds. And it's going to be Brownsville possession as we are under 2 minutes now, clicking down to 1:30.
Those layups, yeah, you can see Mel Cortez actually. She's got a smile on her face, and she knows that she should make those, especially when it's a great pass like that.
And it looks like Brownsville has taken some of their seniors out of the game, and they got a nice round of applause from their fans. The Brownsville had 4 seniors in their starting lineup: Katie Whitlock, Melanie Schumar, Rhianna Lewis, and Aubrey Hogsett. Probably playing their final high school basketball game tonight, so it was nice to see. They probably got some parents in the crowd giving them a nice round of applause.
And all congratulations to them on that playoff win. And that's one benefit of this open tournament. You get a team like this who gets a chance to get a win in the playoffs, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, first playoff win since 2008. I was in high school in 2008. Hallie Book with a up and under layup.
Very nice, Hallie. And I will say I was not in high school in 2008. Good drive by Cito. Wow. Not giving up, Emma Cito. Well done.
she went through the whole Trojanet team there. And we're going to stop for some free throws. And while these free throws are happening, it is National Athletic Training Month, and we would like to give a special shout out to our two fantastic trainers here at North from AHN, Kate Lewandowski and Karen Richards. These two do great work all year long to keep our student athletes in the game. Our Trojan Army student section have dubbed them the GOATs.
Allie Book with another one.
Yeah, speaking of GOATs, this is probably the GOAT game for Allie Book. 4 points in a playoff game. You can see the smile on her face there. That's what's really cool about playoff basketball games. Even the blowouts, you get people in competing towards the end of the game, and those baskets mean so much to them. I think
they really do, and I love what you said earlier too about how it means a lot to the bench, right? Those girls on there, because they know how hard these girls work in practice, right? They're the teammates who are making everybody who's on the floor to start with better, and so they love to see when their teammates excel and get a chance to make some buckets there at the end.
And Cito misses another free throw. That's going to take us to the end of the game. And it is a 78-31 North Catholic Trojanet victory. 78-31, North Catholic led by Elena Rocco with 17 points. 3 other players in double figures, Daisha Lewandowski, Ava Walker, and Tori Drevna. Emma Cito, a pretty impressive performance in a losing effort for Brownsville. She had 16 points and only a junior, so she'll be a pretty good returning player for Brownsville next year. She can get some help. Who knows? Brownsville could get another playoff win next year. Anything to take away from this game, Phil, as we head to the second round of the playoffs?
Well, so like we said, these Trojanettes certainly came out ready for this one. I mean, they were not looking past anything. They gave it every bit of effort they had, and the defense really drove a lot of the points for the Trojanettes. They're going to take on the winner of the 8 and 9 seed here in the 3A Girls Basketball Championship playoff, and that's going to be Avonworth or Freedom. And let's see if we can maybe find a score on that game. And recap some more here from this game here, Sean.
And that game, Avonworth and Freedom, we'll see if we can get you a score update. The game between North Catholic and the winner of that would be this Saturday at noon. We don't know yet if we'll be able to have that game for you here on the NC Sports Network. We certainly hope we do, so keep checking the website for more updates in terms of if we have that game. Were you able to get a score?
Don't see a score for that one, and probably not too surprised there. This second half went pretty quick, so that game might still be in progress.
Yeah, so looking at this bracket, the highest seed other than North Catholic on their side is Laurel, who they beat handily. So as we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, this looks to be setting up well for another deep run for the Trojanettes. Let's look towards our next broadcast now. Our next Trojan Game Day is coming right around the corner. It's actually tomorrow as the boys start their WPIAL 4A playoff journey. They will host Mount Pleasant in the first round here on Barth and Graham Court. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m., but our coverage here on the NC Sports Network begins at 5:50 p.m. For myself, Sean Malone, Phil O'Hara, and the entire crew here at the NC Sports Network, thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your evening.